Right. Your descriptions of your dad in his little safari suit, leading the swinging life,
Yes.
and your mother. I mean, I mean, just some of the ideas of that time was it was like mothers deciding, I don't need to be a mother. I need to be me. I need to discover who I am. Ditto the father saying, yeah, me too. And I'm going to go. I think he told you that he had sex. He told you, and then
Yeah.
they brought us into it. Like, no, thank you. We
Yes.
don't want to hear
Yeah.
this. We're your
Yeah.
kids. But like he said, I had 3 women today.
Yeah, he would
know.
tell me like about how many conquests he had. And his one big piece of fatherly advice to me when I was, probably 15, I think, he said to me, Erica, there's only one thing you need to know about men. When their dicks stand up, their brains fall in the mud. that was my advice. My mother, on the other hand, I mean, I think my father was fully at liberty, after the divorce. I mean, he was rolling high. He was Dick Schickel. He was a regular reviewer at Time Magazine. Like he went from Life to Time. His career just bloomed and burgeoned, and he slept with many wonderful ladies and ended up fine. My mother, on the other hand, and I feel like this is sort of a gender difference that happened in the 70s. The culture affected, or the sexual revolution affected women profoundly and differently. And I mentioned this in the book that, my mother had been raised, I say, with the factory settings of the 1950s, had married in the early 60s, and slid right into that role of wife and mother and all of those expectations of the time in which she'd been raised. But all of a sudden, here was the sexual revolution, and there is a sense that the arrangement she made on the terms of the 50s was no longer an agreeable one to her, and she always had a sense of having had something taken from her. I mean, not specifically sexually, which is later revealed she had become a victim herself of a professor in a school. But I think that she just wasn't in the same position that my father was to sort of bounce back or bounce through the sexual revolution.
Right.
She was stuck.